Coming to you from the podcast studio of WTAP+. This is your quick guide to today's health questions and your connection to real-world health tips. You're watching Keeping It Healthy.
Hi, welcome back to the Keeping It Healthy podcast. I am your host, Stephanie Plant, and I am here with my guest, Chad Emrick, Mayor of Vienna. Thank you for agreeing to sit down and talk to me today, Chad.
Well, absolutely, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So we're talking about all things health, and I want to take a minute to talk about senior health and, some of the things that are going on with the senior center.
Well, absolutely. In the city of Vienna, we find that believe that it's critical for all ages to maintain proper health and nutrition and to stay active throughout life. And one of our greatest populations that we help support is that of our senior community through our senior center and senior programming.
Well, great. Yeah, health is important. And so, let's first talk about the senior center and tell me some things that you've got going on and that you host there and some of the activities.
So if you've never been to the Vienna Senior Center, we take great pride in the services that we provide to our senior community. Our senior center consists of what really is two different sides. One is an activity side where seniors can come and they can play games and socialize, and we have dinners and movie nights and have all of those activities, and there's a whole calendar of events that they have. Then on the other side of the house, we have a full wellness center that is equipped with some of the latest things that we can provide in the way of health and wellness, and that's where we host all of our daily classes for senior health and wellness.
Okay, great. So some of those programs, I do know that you have a yoga class there, chair yoga?
Yes, we do. We offer a wide variety of things. So we just don't focus on one specific area. So we offer the various yoga classes, the chair yoga. We offer the drumming classes that we've just added so that people can, at various levels, there's a beginner, there's an intermediate, then I witnessed today basically like the high impact side of it. So we had about 40 seniors that were doing the drumming class in there as well. We also offer alternate events like Tai Chi and, again, Zumba classes as well to our senior age members.
Wow, I love that. So 40 seniors came out today for the drumming class, huh?
They did, and when I first went by the senior center today, it was to check out a new bus stop that we're actually putting in front of the senior center so that individuals can use the transit service to come directly to the center on the Easy Rider. And when I pulled up and I was talking to our guys, I could hear the music from the inside of the senior center, which sounded like they were having a pretty good time. So that piqued my interest, so I went in and checked on them. And our gymnasium complex was full of seniors doing a very fast-paced drumming class that involves, the large exercise balls, and they have the drumming sticks, and Luvia, our instructor, takes them through an entire gamut of that exercise plan, and they were just having a wonderful time.
So am I going to see you drumming soon?
They tried to hand me a set of sticks today to get me to participate in that, and I always fall back to I'm not quite old enough yet, but I'm getting there slowly but surely.
I think that you and I ought to join them one day. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I will be up for it. If you're willing to come, you and I can join in a class.
Sign me up. I'm ready.
Yes.
But yeah, so I love it. So why is it important, for the community with physical activity? What does that mean for you to be able to offer these services to the community?
So I believe in today's environment and culture, it is very easy for individuals just to want to sit at home, sit on their phones, sit on their couch watching TV, and they can get pulled into that very quickly. Mm-hmm. If we look at the generational change that's going on, when I was a kid, my mother kicked me out of the house at 10 a.m. on a summer morning, and I didn't come back inside until the street lights came on. And with many various ages, we see just kind of this rut that they fall into where it's easy to just go inside because you have all of those things. For us in the city of Vienna, it's critical that we get our population back out into physical activity, whether that's through the senior center and doing those classes that we offer and participating in those things, or offering outdoor activities for all of our residents to be able to come and enjoy. It just keeps us healthy, it keeps us energized, and it keeps us connected in ways that just sitting at home do not.
Yeah, and I think that it's really important to kind of note here or bring up, having that community and being able to get out and do those things. It helps with our mental wellness, our mental health wellness as well. We're out there, we're engaging, we're stimulating our brain, and all the physical activity that also helps that as well. So yeah.
Well, I believe that you can see that it is evidenced through a person's mental well-being and health, that if you stay inside and you stay disconnected from people, that just doesn't prove to be a healthy situation. And you can tell a difference. I can tell a difference in myself, whether I've spent the day home alone or I've been out actively engaged with individuals. So there's a health and wellness that's the physical side, but there's a health and wellness that's on the mental and emotional side that we also have to be able to encourage individuals to stay stimulated, to stay engaged, and that makes for a well-rounded individual to keep their health where it needs to be.
Yeah, so I know you mentioned we do have the senior center and all the things that are going on there and why it's so important, but also some of the other activities, the community activities that you mentioned. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of those things that you have on an ongoing basis?
So we try to keep a very energetic program going overall for all of our residents. So what you see is, yes, we offer these services at the senior center, but then for our all adult ages, 18 and older, we offer community events that may be outdoor yoga, outdoor Zumba. We go to Spencer's Landing and do that. Recently, this past year, we did a zombie Zumba where the community got to come out at Spencer's Landing in Vienna, and we did this whole zombie Zumba activity, and everybody put on their best zombie outfit, and they Zumbaed and had a great time. We also do a lot of aquatics activities. Vienna recently just went through an entire renovation of the Jackson pool at Jackson Park. And one of the things that I believe, that is a city-owned and operated facility. So we should utilize that to the fullest of its capabilities. And some of those things that we do are aqua Zumba, are aqua activities to be able to get individuals out. Maybe individuals have problems with joint pain or muscle fatigue or what have you. And when they start off in that aqua environment, it gives them the opportunity to be active, but a little less impactful on their joints. And trust me, the older I get, I can understand why that's important.
I can as well. Swimming is not my strongest physical activity, and it's one that I need to spend a little more time doing, though, because to kind of protect those joints and as we age. So yeah, definitely understand.
As we look to our community, like most communities, you see shifts in ages. Depending upon where we're at, the population may be older, and now we're starting to see even younger families coming into Vienna. So as we begin to look at like our parks and recreation activities, we're trying to enhance those facilities so that you can get out and enjoy being outside. Many may not know, but the McDonough Wildlife Refuge is actually a park system resource that we have in Vienna that we operate and maintain, and there are gobs of trails and activities that you can do. There's also a very large paved walking trail that if hiking through the woods isn't your thing, but you want someplace that you can come out and walk, we just resurfaced that area, enhanced the restroom facilities in that location, so that it makes it even more accessible for individuals to be able to come and enjoy the outside, do their low-impact walking or activities, and just enjoy nature. In addition to that, we also have a small park area on the corner of 28th Street and River Road called the Pollinator Garden. And it has a very nice paved walking trail as well, which is a little closer into town. There's plenty of parking. It's easily accessible, and it gets people out just to be able to enjoy nature and get their health on.
I love that those are available, and I'm going to speak to McDonough Park because if you're a viewer or listener out there, and you say, hey, I'm ready to make that commitment to health, and I just want to get out and get some exercise. McDonough is beautiful, and like Chad said, there's a small trail there, a small walking path, and then there are some trails there too if you want to dive a little deeper to have that trail experience. But McDonough is a beautiful park that some people may not even realize is right there and accessible.
Well, I think a lot of people drive by the McDonough Wildlife Refuge not knowing how large it is. This is not just 1 or 2 acres, but this is hundreds of acres that individuals can get out. They can walk trails all the way over to Lake Betsy off of Twin Lakes Road. There are connecting trails that get there. And anytime you have an opportunity to get out, you have those individuals that say, well, all I can do is walk. Walking can do such great benefits for your health that you don't even think about. So that's why we've tried to provide these opportunities so that individuals can get out. It doesn't take any equipment except good shoes, and the ability to be able to get there and get out and enjoy. And you can do your health a massive amount of wonder just by spending some time in nature and walking a bit.
Yeah, just getting the cardiac system up and running and pumping the blood is very helpful. And then also too, walking has been proven to help mental health and like you said, spend some time with nature. There's definitely a lot of benefits in nature.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that to kind of go in a different direction with that, many people may know that the mall was recently bought by the Cafaro Company. And years ago, there was a very large walking club that participated in the walking activities at the Grand Central Mall, which has a nice open floor plan to be able to do that. In recent years, that program was basically cut off and ended in such a fashion. With the new owners, we've been in conversation with them and are working towards reestablishing the Silver Sneakers program that would open up an indoor venue for people to get out and to be able to exercise in that walking capacity and use the mall once again for that. So we're very excited to see that partnership between the city of Vienna and the new owners of the Grand Central Mall bring that together.
We are very well excited as well. We are in partnership with the mall, and we've recently had some conversations. So, yeah, that is coming in the future, as you spoke. And so that's something that we can definitely look forward to. I'm very excited that that's coming back someday.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of requests, over the years. And, I tell people we don't own the mall, and we are dependent upon the good grace of the owners. And they've been very receptive to that, and I'm very pleased to hear of the future that is going to be in store for that.
Yeah, I am as well. I think you're going to see a lot of nice things coming from the mall, and we're excited to have them as partners in our community. Jackson Park. Do you want to talk about Jackson Park and what all is happening at Jackson Park?
So Jackson Park, we continue to make improvements on. We've recently installed new bridges across Pond Run, which opened up the opportunities for individuals to walk, and even those now that have disabilities have a greater access to our park system. We had a very aged bridge system that spanned across the Pond Run area, and it made it very difficult to be able to get across. It might have been a little shaky to get across if you were trying. But we've replaced those bridges, and we've opened up and we've added new sidewalks and some access points so that you can do that. If you don't know, there's also a walking trail that connects the one side of Jackson Park where Jackson Middle School is. That's about where it starts, where the pool is in Jackson Middle School. There's a walking trail that takes you back through the wooded area and will take you all the way to the other side where the Vienna Rec building is and where the ball fields are. So that's a little hidden resource that a lot of people don't know about. Jackson Park also has a large access of outdoor exercise equipment that is located in the park. And it's a lot of various activities that you can go and exercise on and participate on, and you're getting to do it outside, so what better way to do that?
Yes, correct. That's exactly right. I love that you've made it to where it's accessible for if you've got a disability or wheelchair and so forth to have access to that. That's wonderful. So there's a lot of sports that can go on in ways to get your kids, started at a young age in health and through some of the sports that's going on at Jackson. You've got a couple different fields there, right? Baseball fields and
so we've got the large baseball fields, and a couple of years ago we took and put all of our baseball activities on one side, and that's a wonderful program that's operated by Vienna Rec. That gets kids involved and gets kids in activities to get them, again, outside of the house. So we moved all of our activities to that side. Then on the other side, we are going to enhance and install a larger, more permanent soccer field area where individuals that can do soccer. And if you've ever went by when soccer season goes on, that field is full of kiddos running around, enjoying soccer and learning the basics of soccer and just being physically active.
yeah, so whether it's an organized sport, a rec sport or so forth, that's available. And then, you've also got all that space that if you're out there and you want to get your children started early in good healthy habits, you've definitely got that space to do so.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that we've actually recently took on is a revitalization of what we consider and call the Vienna Rec building. If you've been on that side of Jackson Park, beside the ball fields or up from the ball fields, just at the base of the sleigh riding hill that we have, which is a whole nother wonderful conversation for kiddos. We are in the process right now of rehabbing that facility. Many years ago, the Vienna Rec building was donated by the Manette family, and it was moved in and sat into place. Over the years, it just kind of fell into still usable, but there hadn't really been any upgrades to it. When I first took over office, we identified that this was something that we wanted to do. So in the Vienna Rec building, we have now started the whole revitalization of that will open up new recreational opportunities for young families and Vienna recreational sports, and just a whole lot of various things that we can offer that we haven't been able to offer in times past.
Wow, that's definitely something to look forward to. I'm excited about that.
Anywhere that we can in the city of Vienna add what I call quality of life enhancements. And a lot of those quality of life enhancements go towards healthy living. I'm not sure how much you may know about the Spencer's Landing project that we have. But that is a huge project that we are currently working on, and that space too will have a lot of recreational area for people to get out. Our hope and long-term goal is that we will eventually be able to connect the walking trail from Parkersburg down to those areas. Our first phase would be our 12th Street property, which is right behind Cheddar's in Vienna along the river. To get it connected to there, that's where our new kayak launch is being built, which is going to be the first truly fully functional and ADA compliant kayak launch along the Ohio River that I know of within the immediate area. Then we're hopeful to add some other activities down there as well for people to get out and enjoy themselves.
So what's the timeline on that? I'm very curious.
So the kayak launch itself is under construction right now. There are a couple of hurdles that we have to be able to complete in order to get that walking trail from Parkersburg that starts down at Point Park all the way up through and to be able to connect. We have plans in motion. We're working that actively, and we're hopeful that in the near future, we will see that come to fruition.
Do you kayak?
So I have kayaked before. I am not an active kayaker, but I have kayaked on the Potomac. I kayaked when I was stationed in Hawaii. That was a very interesting learning curve because I think I paddled for an hour in the open ocean, and I'm not sure I moved anywhere.
Sometimes that happens.
That seemed to happen, and it was a very unique feeling when I could feel myself being sucked out, and I was trying to paddle back. But I have kayaked on some levels. I know that there's a great interest in that, and again, for physical activity and health, you can do that. In the way of our Spencer Landing development, in line with the 12th Street property, we eventually want to be able to see a situation to where you could put in at Spencer's Landing, and you could then kayak down and get out at the 12th Street property, which is very common for kayakers to do. I'm not sure how easy it would be to kayak up the Ohio River, and I'm not even sure I'd want to try.
Well, I've had an experience where I have tried at one point in time, and it was not fun. But yeah, kayaking is definitely a great form of physical activity, and you use a lot of muscles sometimes you don't realize that you're going to use if you're just first starting out. But that is so exciting, and definitely look forward to that for the community.
Well, I think there are so many ways that if we provide, again, what I consider quality of life enhancements to our residents that get them out into the community. And it does provide strength for their physical well-being, but it also provides strength for their mental well-being. So as we look in the city of Vienna towards future developments and what we're doing, we take all of those things into consideration. It's not just, well, this would look pretty or this would be nice. I look at things to say, how can I better our community? How can I better things for our residents? And Vienna is a very active community. I think one of the coolest things that you can see are people actively walking up and down Grand Central. We're going to be doing some work on the sidewalk areas along Grand Central to be able to provide that access and be able to provide those opportunities. And as we do this, it allows individuals to get out into the community. There's so much that you can do, especially when it comes to one's health, that you don't necessarily have to go to the gym every day to keep healthy. You don't have to go out and do, these huge, rigorous, workout sessions, but it can be accomplished by a daily routine that provides you with continuity that you can get out. And the easiest way you can do that is to open your front door, step outside, walk down one of the streets, and start to engage in physical activity.
Yeah, starting is just half of the battle, really. You can build upon it, but just get out and start 10 minutes, and then, maybe the next day it's 15 minutes, and just build upon that. But yeah, if you're listening or you're a viewer here, and regardless of where you are, Vienna is definitely a beautiful space to come and walk, and it's very active community. You see so many people walking down the road.
It is, and I spent 25 years in the Army. Over that 25 years, physical activity is one of the cornerstones of what we do. We do PT 5 times a day, and somebody years ago determined that it was best that we do it at the crack of dawn for whatever reason. So I spent a very long period of time doing that, in most part because that's what the Army required. There comes a point that we have to determine for ourselves that we want to do this because I want to stay healthy. Not because somebody's telling me to stay healthy, but because I want to stay healthy. In what I have done since I've come back to civilian life after, all of that time in the Army, is actively try to look for ways that I can stay active, that I can stay engaged, that I can keep those routines somewhat going. Maybe not as rigid as what I was once used to, but I can keep those things going on because I feel and I believe that it's important rather than just somebody telling me that it's important.
Yeah, so I'm really curious, just based on what you just said. What's your day-to-day look like? What's your routine now? On a day for physical activity. What are some of the things that you are mindful of?
So I try to get out and spend, we talk a lot about outside. That's the easiest thing for me to do. And it's also the time that I can spend while I'm walking, while I'm outside, while I'm engaged in those activities. It gives me an opportunity to think about what's going on in my life, what I'm doing. It's that alone time in that aspect that gives me some time to sit and reflect. I love to be in the outdoors. So I look forward to spring and to summer when I can get out, and I actually put part of my physical routine into the lawn care, into the cleaning up of the garden, in those activities. So anytime that you can find a daily activity that you can insert that is providing you with a physical health activity that doesn't seem like you're doing a physical health activity, it makes it easier for you to participate in those things.
That's definitely a win-win. For sure. Well, we may have to have a one-off conversation. Maybe we have a challenge for the community this coming year surrounding physical activity in Vienna. So,
one of the things that I had talked about when I first took office was encouraging a program and initiating a program, and we were going to call it a Mile with the Mayor. And it was going to be, and the intent of that is to be a walking session, an outdoor session where we're just come out and we spend a moment a day walking a mile, and we can be engaged in conversations about our community, about our concerns, about those efforts. But it's also encouraging health, because while we're talking and while we're discussing, we're in those physical activities. So you may see that come to life this spring.
I'd be all over that. I think that's a great idea.
And I'm going to stress, it's going to be walking, not running. It's the older I get, the harder it is to run and talk at the same time, I think.
Well, as a past runner, I can relate. I'm in the walking phase in the journey of my life here as well. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, me too. Trust me. Me too.
It does happen. But that's okay. Hey, staying active and continuing to stay active, maybe in what you've done in the past, but, you're in a different phase of your life. Just being able to continue to stay active is so important for so many reasons.
I would encourage not just Vienna residents, but individuals in general, look for ways that you can stay active. Again, like I said earlier, it is very easy to just get sucked into sitting and watching things on our phone or watching things on TV or just sitting at home. It's been my personal experience that I feel better when I'm out, when I'm doing those things. A lot of my routine when I was on active duty in the Army, I would of course do PT that was mandated of a morning. And that's what they told you that you had to do. And I found a routine that suited me, that if in the evening I went out and I worked out, I spent that time in physical activity, I took my shower, then that properly set me to be able to rest and have a peaceful night's sleep. Many people don't know how much sleep and your sleep patterns can affect your health. If you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not sleeping peacefully, it's hard to stay in shape and stay active if your body doesn't have the energy to be able to go on throughout the day. And that's why it's crucial, I believe, for me of an evening to try to shut down, kind of my brain and what, there's 1,000 things that go on at any given time, but that physical activity in the evening and that time to basically decompress and release that stress sets me up for a good night's sleep, which then in turn sets me up for a good day the next day.
I totally agree, and I think it is important. One thing that you said was really important is routines. I think if you can establish a routine that works best for you, get a good night, healthy sleep, then you can wake up and you're ready to take on that routine that you've set through the day. And so, I think that's really important.
A lot of us struggle when we look at mental health, getting our brains to kind of shut down. and it's, like anything else, you can't go from 800 miles an hour to zero, then expect it just to shut down. And if we find ways to decompress, to de-stress those activities throughout the day, and maybe it's through exercise, maybe it's through, different activities in not necessarily physical health, but reading or just something that calms that mind down, because your mind is, critically important to being able to shut down the rest of the body and get that rest. And you find those ways to be able to pull all of that down so that you then can relax and get that good night's sleep.
Well, I'm a yoga instructor, and one of the things that I do in the evening that has been very successful for me is breathing, and being able to shut all those things going on in your brain. I'll call them open tabs, if you will. Being able to shut those open tabs, as if you have on a computer. You can imagine all those tabs. We've got that going on in the brain, and I think breathing is really important. Is being able to take that deep breath in, but also knowing how to breathe out and allowing your body to learn to reset in the evening. So there's if you're out there and you're curious about, there's definitely some resources out there on the internet and on YouTube about just breathing and meditation, shutting down before you go to sleep. You can take a look at that, and it'll help. It definitely helps. So
yeah, I'm not I'm not sure people realize how closely related mental stresses have to do with your physical body. If you're mentally stressed out, it's really hard to be able to have a physical health that's where it needs to be, because those things are intertwined. A person has to be well-rounded in their health. So whether it's mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, all of those play a big role together. And sometimes we have to sit back and say, am I taking care of all of the core components of my life? Maybe I'm exercising, but my mind's stressed out, or I'm not where I need to be, and that affects health overall.
Yeah, and I'm not a nutritionist, so I definitely can't speak from that angle, but I do know how important it is to just be mindful of what we're taking in our body and feeding our body. So there's definitely some people out there in that space that can help educate, but I know for me personally, it is getting the proper proteins and vegetables, and one rule of thumb that I had a personal trainer tell me at one point in time: if you go into the grocery store and you're staying on the outside of the grocery store and not partaking of the inside where it's processed foods, putting whole foods in your body, and how important that is. So
when it comes, you talk about food. I have found that my best way not to eat it is don't buy it. If I don't buy it, I don't eat it, because I love to snack.
I do too.
I love to snack. I love to have those things, and I find that, and I can tell a difference in my body by what I'm eating and how I'm eating. It's very easy, and this gets into time management for a person. Because we're so used to eating on the go in some situations, and we may grab something that's not exactly healthy, and that's not, those things aren't bad to partake of, occasionally throughout your time. But when that makes up the majority of it, you can tell a difference, and I know I personally can tell a difference in how I eat, what I'm eating, and what my eating patterns are, to actually take time and go, okay, I need to eat right now, rather than eating at 9:30 or 10 o'clock right before I'm going to bed. Because if you eat what you would have normally ate at 6 o'clock at 9:30 at 10, then there's no opportunity for you to burn any of those or get the body going. All of that food just kind of sits there. Then, throughout the night, it's not really burning anything.
No. And I think it's important to have a good time management and to good schedule, and also plan ahead too. I've seen with my children and my grandchildren, we always are choosing better options if we can plan ahead what
Absolutely.
we're having. So we've definitely covered a lot of topics today, and I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. But before we finish up here today, is there anything that maybe I haven't asked about that you would like to share? Are there any activities coming up in the city of Vienna that we want to get out there and let the viewers and listeners know about?
There's a whole schedule of summer activities that will be coming that we're finalizing and we'll be putting out to the community. The one of the largest events that we do in Vienna, it's an outdoor activity as well, is the Freedom Festival that takes place down along Spencer's Landing. So that will be this summer going on. There's going to be a lot of wonderful activities. If individuals want information about that, they can go to the Friends of Vienna Facebook page or the city Facebook page and get information about that. Then we look forward to just a summer packed full of outdoor activities, family activities for everybody to enjoy.
A lot happening. Definitely, if you're out there and you have not visited Vienna, take a minute, take the drive, come walk. There's a lot to see. Visit McDonough Park. Take the drive up there to explore that. You'll definitely come back. But yeah, so we appreciate you coming on the podcast again, and I've enjoyed having this conversation about healthy living.
Well, thank you again for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.